Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time for some more Planescape Torment, Social Isolation Edition, if you really want to call it that. In the meantime, however, I've got lots of exploring to do, I've got things to do, I've got a new party member, dak'kon is with us, and I have things to do. There is a person called Mokai who hasn't paid their bar tab. We've got a box to deliver whilst maintaining social distancing, and still looking for our journal, still looking for Farod. It's fine. Also, we do have a journal entry now for dak'kon. It's rather short, admittedly, but that's okay. This Mercy Killer is rather restless, isn't he? He keeps pacing about. We have O over here, we have the Fiends, we have the Mercy Killers. We should probably go and say hello to them and see what they're up to anyway. Done. I just want to work my way around, and I'm going to quickly paranoia check. All good. The sound may have cut out there for a moment. Best to get that one in early rather than leave it later. An armoured behemoth. This man is huge. He also seems to have a very keen eye. It misses nothing that transpires around him. It also seems that he has no interest in speaking to you. Hello? It's not greetings. The man stares at you as if you were some form of bug. He stares at you, blinking slowly. He turns his head, then, dismissing you without speaking a word. Hello? I'm not going to threaten this guy. He's wearing a lot of armour, and he's a lot of armour for this city. And he's very big and nasty looking. You hear a subterranean rumble beginning deep in the man's chest. He lightly strokes his weapon and stares at you with renewed interest. If that's where you want to be, then farewell. Yeah, maybe one of the others. Wait, I didn't see him. Oh. Interesting. Also, there's a door over here that we can probably investigate behind if we want to get arrested. Or worse. He seems to be in control, so let's go talk to this chap. You see a grizzled, burly man in spiked armour. He eyes you coolly and slowly up and down, evaluating you. He pauses for a time on your face, almost as if it jogs his memory somehow. He sighs and says, "Can I help you with something, friend?" Oh, I think you should have a more gravelly voice. So I haven't really been drinking enough liquid recently to pull that off, but we'll see what I can do. Do you recognize me? I thought I did, but those pictures are centuries out of date, and the suspect would be dead by now. Of course, these are the planes, and stranger things have happened. Still, if you're the fella I'm thinking of, it looks like you've served your sentence by means of pain. Interesting. What can you tell me about this person you're talking about? He was a particularly brutal criminal, from what I understand. This was, of course, centuries ago. Immense strength, they said, and enough anger to tear the head from a barrier. Not a sod to be messing with. Word is he got himself surrounded by a Red Death patrol, escaped through a portal and hasn't been seen since. He frowns, studying you. They have pictures of him. Take away some of the scars and you might be related to him. Probably not him, though. Sounds like a nasty fellow. I had some questions about something else. What do you want to know? And we're back to a question hub conversation again. It happens a lot, but we get used to it. Who are you? Me? I'm Tana. And who are your friends? They're Caleb and Ilsidon. Caleb's my new meat, a new recruit. Ilsidon's the muscle, I'm the brains. Is it a recruit? Is that why you're all dressed the same? It's a uniform of a kind. We're the Red Death. Mercy killers. We're the justice folks. Someone commits a crime, we bring them to justice. We right wrongs too. You want to know more? Go talk to one of the recruiters. Fair enough. Answer some more questions for me, will you? We're back to the questions. What do you want to know? Well, is there another way we could get back to a sort of central hub that doesn't involve so much repetition? At least there's not that much deviation or hesitation. Alright, I'm looking for a journal. Have you seen one? I see far too much on the mean streets of Sigil, friend. Unless this journal is something spectacular, chances are good I ain't seen it. Very well then, just a little bit more. Have you heard about a collector by the name of Farod? I'm looking for him. You're looking for him, eh? From the tone of your voice, I'm betting it won't be for a quick drink down at the local tavern either. See, I know Farod of old. He's a slippery one, he is, and it'll be a time before we can pin something on him. Problem is, only a fanatic like Valor'd scrag the guy without even a shred of proof. That's all a long way of saying, I don't know where the sod is, but you ought to know he's a suspect, and it won't do you any good to be seen with him. Thanks for the dark, friend. Farewell. So whoever these mercy killers are, they've got it in for Farod. And we may be assumed guilty by association. Hey, you're new, aren't you? So you might be less grim. Might be able to get a bit of information about who he's looking for. What he's doing here. You see a lad who barely looks a day over 18. His face seems to betray some tension. Help you, Cutter? Who are you? I'm Caleb. I'm a mercy killer. I'm here with Targa and Ilsidon to catch my first criminal. What can you tell me about the mercy killers? Well, I have to get used to saying that now. Believe that justice is the most important thing in existence. I believe that without justice, there is no meaning. And without meaning, we might as well go off and kill ourselves. I don't want to kill myself, so I decided justice is the meaning. If you want to know more, you ought to ask one of these other two, or find one of our recruiters. They'll talk your ear off. I might do that. Answer some questions for me first, will you? Oh, what do you want to know? What are you doing? Well, seeing as I'm a new mercy killer, I'm supposed to bring a criminal to justice to show I can handle the field work. I decided I wanted to catch a killer, so we asked around and got told he was going to be here. Still haven't seen him though. I'm a little nervous to tell the truth. If you'll excuse me, I really ought to get back to looking at the faces here again. He cranes his neck and looks around the bar. Just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. We'll see what his opinion on Farod is, and then leave it at that, I think. I'm looking for a collector who goes by the name of Farod. Oh, sorry, it should be like the nameless voice. I'm looking for a collector who goes by the name of Farod. Would you happen to know where I can find him? Updating my journal. Can't say I've heard of him. Is he a criminal? Maybe we'll pick him up later. My thanks for the tip-off, citizen. My pleasure. Let me know before you kill him if you catch him. Farewell. Not a lot of information there, unfortunately, but there is this chap. Oh. This is a freaky conversation. But I'm trying for all the memories and experience I can garner here. Because I've got to get those thief levels up, you know? You see a man standing stock still. He isn't moving a muscle. On closer examination, it appears that he isn't even breathing, just standing. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Contained within their bounds is a flat grey light that seems to dance with possibility. Looking into the sockets, the eerie, empty feeling of a limitless void shivers through you, as if you had gazed into a sliver of eternity. The head slowly swivels toward you. You notice that no muscles appear to move under his skin as he turns, and he speaks in a pure, bell-like tone. "Well met, wanderer. You have forgotten again, haven't you?" "Do you know me, stranger?" As he opens his mouth, you get that feeling of eternity again. Inside his mouth, you see no tongue, no teeth. It's almost as if this man were a shell surrounding an illimitable expanse. "I have spoken with you before, and always you forget. Your endless quest to discover yourself ends always in your amnesia. You draw close to the truth and recoil. Let us hope that you have the strength to endure your existence." "What then do you know of me? How do you know this?" "I know that you, like a fly, rise up from the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time, and curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the plains, seeking the light without any plan to your actions, and fall, exhausted when you fail. You alight on others to feed from them for a time, and move on with no regard to them. I have watched you come here and listen to your words, and watched you move away no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, seeker?" I'm not going to attack him. Not this time, no. Have I asked who he is before? I don't believe I have. I don't think I'm going to say I don't think I like your tone, because that might... You might say, well then, you're clearly not learning or something. So, okay. Who are you? For some... I am O. For some reason, when he speaks his name, it sounds like he's speaking of much more than a single letter, as if the speaking of his name contained untold possibilities and nuances. No human tongue could ever create such a sound. What sort of name is that? It is my name. It is the name of a portion of eternity. I am a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am writ in the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysic. Oh, dak'kon's gotta be loving this. So, what does that mean? The divine alphabet is writ in the name of everything that exists, from the seed at the hearts of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. My brothers, sisters, a single word translates into the two in your mind, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept and the unimaginable. I wonder if that's a reference to deoxyribonucleic acids, also known as DNA. It wouldn't be like the XX and XY of like the XXY man. The XXY man, now that's a TV series from before my time. But, you know, a school teacher mentioned it a fair handful of times when I was at school doing my GCSEs. Would it be, I'm the alpha and the omega, so O is the last letter of the Greek alphabet, so that could also be a reference to like beginning and end. I'm not sure. This character gives the impression of being very deep, but I'm not sure there's much of a deeper meaning. As in, there's not much more to reveal, so it's all about interpretation at this point. Then that means you know all the secrets of existence, does it not? I know parts of many of them. Without a connection to my brothers and sisters, I am but a letter. Alone I am a symbol. Combined we are language and power. So you don't know the secrets of existence? Perhaps you know the... Then you may know nothing. Perhaps you know the answers to some of my questions. What is it you wish to know? I'm looking for a journal. It's urgent. Do you know where I might find it? I know where you can find it, but it is not my place to reveal such information. But rest assured you will find it, as well as the man you seek. Do you know where Farod is? I know where he is. I can give you one word. Nearby. You will find him in the hive, under a veil of secrecy. Well, that's what all your answers seem to be under as well. Can you give me an answer to another question? What is it you wish? Tell me of the patrons of this tavern. The patrons of this place are varied, yet all mortal. Like all mortals, their concerns are limited with the potential of blossoming into actual truth. I can tell you this though. You may find a companion dear to your heart here, at least as dear as your heart will allow. That's probably dak'kon. My thanks. Farewell. Oh! Actually, it might not be dak'kon. It probably is dak'kon, though, that he's referring to. I mean, it's someone else that he could be referring to, but that someone is not quite so dear. If you've played the game before, you know exactly who I'm talking about. That burning man there. But he's on fire. He's not going anywhere, right? 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 Yeah, yeah. Oh, Aethelgrin sounds like such an Anglo-Saxon name, but then Tegar-in doesn't. And also that weird glottal stop with the punctuation is really hard to pull off. You see a scaled fiend who looks very similar to the one sitting next to him. In addition to the pierced left ears, both are black-hued and reptilian, with bat wings tucked against themselves. This one is missing a tooth on its right side. Ah, Tegarin, it says. Our old friend has returned to pay us a visit. So he has, Aethelgrin. So he has. Yet his eyes do not gleam as once they did. What do you suppose brings him back to us? What does bring you back to us, friend? Who are you? Ah, Aethelgrin. Time has robbed our companion's memory. You honestly don't recall us, do you? Truly, I'm aggrieved. But as am I, Tegarin, truly aggrieved. Yet I rest easy. It has, after all, been many hundreds of years, and we know how the minds of mortals tend to dissipate with age. Ah, well spoken, old friend. We are a pair of Abishai on leave from our current assignments in Bator. I am Tegadin, the thrice damned, so named for my ability to find the best in every situation. This is Aethelgrin, who has earned himself no special name, though not for lack of trying. Oh, they are taking digs at each other. They're such evil devils. Quite low-ranking devils, though. Lack of trying? What do you mean? Aethelgrin ignores you as it responds to its companion. And once again, Tegarin, you have cut straight to the truth of the matter. Though perhaps it is best not to have earned the sort of notice one bearing the name thrice damned must surely have incurred. I have some other questions. Mort whispers to you.
Boss, I don't like this. We're not supposed to be here. The Blood War doesn't kick the Celestials' asses bad enough for that any fiend can go on furlough. They want something. Tread carefully.
In the meantime, Tegarin continues to respond to its companion. In its turn, Tegarin ignores you as it replies to its comrade. Once again, I maintain that any notice is better than no notice at all. The Abishai turns back to you. Old friend, does this answer your question as to our identities? I suppose it will have to do. I had some other questions, regrettably. Some questions? Perhaps we have answers. We are certainly eager to aid you, old friend. Right. I want to find out what dealings we've had with them in the past, but I imagine there'd be a price for that information. What are they doing? I think they're here. No, I will ask. Okay, what are you doing here? What are we doing? Why, is it not perfectly clear, old friend? We are on leave from our beloved assignment, taking for ourselves some much-needed rest and perhaps inducing some additional recruitment for our glorious cause. Our superiors fully support our presence, to be sure. In a more immediate sense, we are taking our entertainment in this delightful establishment. And of course, we are celebrating the return of our old friend. However, the stench of the breezes which occasionally waft the scent of goodness in the door debases us somewhat, leaving us physically, mentally, and spiritually weaker. Fortunately, the air in this ward of the city carries a delicious tang of pain and supplication. Wouldn't you agree? Again, the fiend smiles broadly at you. Okay, I think I'm going to risk just one more question. Some questions? Perhaps we have answers. We are certainly eager to aid you, old friend. If Farod's as bad as everyone seems to think he is, these two might know of him. Do you know a collector named Farod? Farod? I have heard the name. Is he not a sage of some sort? A necromancer? Or is he a diviner of rubbish? I have heard of him, friend, but do not have the pleasure of his company. Perhaps one of the other patrons here can help you. Perhaps. Farewell for now, you freakish fiends, you. Let's continue to wander. Oh, hello, this person's called Mokai. And here she comes. You see someone dressed as a female dustman with a half-empty glass in her right hand.
As you near her, she calls out to you. You! Over here! You notice that there's something wrong about her, and your exposure to the dustman leads you to believe that she's just too lively to be a real member of the faction. Even so, let us approach. Hey, Cutter, buy a lady a drink. Poison her drink with the embalming fluid? I don't think I'm going to take that particular route just yet. You're not really a dustman, are you? She looks around nervously and seems to sober right up. Well, why do you say that? Because you don't act like a dusty, and you're not offering contracts. In fact, you're taking money in instead of giving it out for that corpse labour they do at the mortuary. She stifles a squeak of terror and hastens to explain. No. I'm not a dustman. I just found these roses in the street, and I didn't have enough money to get good clothes, and I heard there was a dustman thief around, but you could probably find him somewhere else in the southwest part of the hive. I saw him, but I hid from him. Please don't hurt me. I'm not planning on it, but you ought to know you're not pulling it off too well. Now answer some questions. What do you want to know? Barkis says it's time for you to settle your tab. Now pay up. She jumps a little and her nervous tension becomes fully fledged anxiety. What are you going to do? Ask you to go pay up. Now. I can't afford it. Can you spot me just 10%? I'll give it to him, and he knows I'll pay the rest. How much do you need? I think I need about 100 coins to get started on that debt. You know, suddenly the idea of poisoning her drink with the embalming fluid doesn't seem quite so bad. She's run up quite a tab. I mean, not even ours was that big. But even so, can you think of another solution? Another way to pay? She smiles sadly. You could always, kill me. Distract her? I could, but what's that over there? I could, but I'd rather find another solution. She looks at you for a moment longer, swaying where she stands, and then says, alright. Did you want something else? Yeah, some answers. Who are you? Me? Oh, I'm Mokai. I just like to drink here, and she loses her train of thought momentarily. I'm just a person, you know. I see. Answer something else for me then. Yeah? What do you want to know? Let's see. You know, I will give you the money. Just this time. Now take it and pay up. She pockets your drink, glances briefly towards the door, almost as if she's weighing her chances of dashing out. Sighs heavily as she realizes there's no chance, and begins to walk glumly towards the bar. Well, thanks, I suppose. Don't mention it. And don't even think about heading for the door until you've paid up. We're going to follow her and make sure she pays. As the fiends continue to croak and growl in the corner there, we'll let the flickering light of the burning man illuminate her path as we follow. Oh, we haven't even talked to Ilquix yet, have we? Have we? I can't remember. Let's find out. If so, he would be the last person to speak to before we depart this cozy establishment. Nice and warm, isn't it? Here's some money. I'll bring you some more later.
You better, or I'll send him after you again. He's got the nasal voice, hasn't he, Barkis? You better, or I'll send him after you again. Back again? What now? You shouldn't be having any trouble with Mokai again. Then, friend, you have full bar privileges for free. Anything you want, anytime. That must have been a pretty big tab she ran up. Oh, you don't know the half of it. You want a drink now? No, but I'll be back. Ilquix, you need speaking to. Whoever you are. You see a short, rotund man with a perplexed expression on his face. From the lines on his loose skin, it looks like it's not too uncommon. He carries a flagon of ale that looks like it's in the process of being emptied rapidly. In between swallows, he speaks in a gentle voice, so quiet that you can barely hear his words. Hello, traveller. My name is Ilquix. Can I be of some assistance to you? Greetings. I'd like to ask you some questions. What did you want to know, my friend? Who exactly are you? I am but a humble man with a slight flowery poetical bent and a tendency towards the supernatural. I regret that I have none of my supplies here, or I should be most eager to teach you the ways of power. Perhaps sometime later. Perhaps he should go and have a talk with Alice. I think the two of them would get along quite well. Although his offering of teaching of ways of power gives an impression that he might also be in league with the fiends over there. Yes, I think I'd like that. For now, though, I have some other questions. What is it you want to know, my friend? What can you tell me about this place? This place? The Smouldering Corpse Tavern, a friendly establishment with a fine owner. Barkis is a true gentleman and ambitious to increase his standing to boot. These, I feel, are the most useful qualities one can possess. They drive people. I had some more questions. What did you want to know, my friend? What can you tell me of the patrons of this place? The patrons of this tavern are many and varied. I have spoken with most and find them delightful, with the exception of those creatures of law. He gestures towards the pair of Abishai sitting in the corner. They taint the air with their presence, lending an unwholesome stench to an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking to Barkis. I understand he requires some aid with a trifling matter. Then we have that O character. I'm still trying to understand him fully. It is quite an undertaking, if I say so myself. Those are the folk of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I am too discriminating. Why is it that you despise creatures of law? Ah, a fine question, my friend. My upbringing has been on the chaotic side of the Great Ring. You may speak to Candrian Illborn, a misnomer if ever I heard one, of the plains. He fancies himself a great plain walker. To return to my digression, I have lived my many years with chaos and find it pleasantly agreeable. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I am to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather it be by an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion. I don't know. I don't know that I particularly agree or disagree here. Agree very much. Truth or lie. Disagree. Truth or lie. I mean, You would rather it was something personal, right? You want it to be some motivation. If it's just like an organizational force that's just grinding you down, and there's no real malice behind it,
then it just seems so purposeless, and you're wanting to know why. You know what? There's quite a few people who'd agree with you. Farewell for now. Illquicks for chaotic. So, Planescape takes alignment to extreme interpretations. In fact, a lot of the third edition, a lot of the bad second edition alignment interpretations are exemplified by Planescape. So, back in first edition, and indeed third edition and Pathfinder, I don't know so much about fourth or fifth edition.
I'm gone.
Alignment is attitude, right? It's the character's outlook. It is not their personality. It doesn't govern their behavior. It governs how they perceive life, right? You can be a shambling, disorganized mess and still be a lawful character. A lawful character believes in law and order, an organized society, whereas a chaotic character believes more in individuality and freedom. But in Torment and in Planescape, alignment is I'm going to go in here in a moment. Alignment is a much more solid thing, where characters actually behave and act out their alignments. And it does become personality. And it's like, your alignment isn't how you behave, it's your attitude. But this is taken an extreme, and a lot of the players from second edition who complained that they would frequently, in fact, complain that they did not like the alignment system, were ones who said, I don't think my alignment should tell me how to behave. I don't want my alignment to tell me what to do. Well, it doesn't. Your alignment is your attitude. And this was a problem that so many people failed to understand that. A white oval with a black lightning bolt through it inscribed on the keystone of the entrance to this building. It is inscribed, yes. Well, let's go inside. Get away from the crowds and possible thugs who could assault us. Now here we have another Davos. Let's go meet him.
I'm gone.
This one has a name. You see a Davos, but something about it strikes you as odd. It has the same shock of white hair and the same greenish cast to its skin, the same pair of goat's horns. Then you suddenly realize this one is walking on the ground, not floating. For some reason that makes you uneasy. Now, we could ask dak'kon to translate, but let's see if we're cunning enough to interpret the signs. Try and strike up a conversation and see if you can translate what the creature is saying. We got XP! You ask the Davos several questions, trying to get a feel for the rebuses that appear above its head. It is extremely patient throughout your discussion, giving you easy sentences to translate. After a few minutes, you start to get the hang of it. It feels like you've done this before. Now, if I was running a tabletop campaign, oh my god, I would not want to run Davos NPCs and try to have conversations with PCs, because, I mean, it'll be like just trying to look up so many different rebuses to try and use. It would be, I suppose the easiest way would be to start with some stock phrases like, what do you mean, human? And use those quite a lot early on, so the players could begin to understand them. But it shouldn't be about the players understanding, it should be about the characters understanding. And so, while it's nice to describe the details, it's not necessarily helpful. Maybe you can help me. The Davos waits. Who are you? The Davos inclines its head silently, and a lone symbol appears above his head. It is blurry at first, then resolves into a white oval with a black lightning bolt through it. For some reason, you know the Davos has a name. Its name is Fel. I feel like I know you, Fel. Fel bows reverently, and a stream of symbols swirl about his head, rotating clockwise, then anti-clockwise. Sorry, we Brits don't say counterclockwise, that's just weird. It's clockwise and anti-clockwise. What counterclockwise would be like turning the clock physically round? It's just weird. You have to guess at some of the symbols, but you think he said something about this not being the first time you've come to this place. Do you know who I am? Another series of symbols materialize quickly and sharply into focus above Fell's head. These symbols are not as difficult as the others. You think he said he knows you, but he cannot say any more than that. Why not? For a moment there is no response from Fell. Then a stream of rebuses appear as if trickling out of Fell's mind. You think he's saying he's sorry, but you can't translate the text. I see. I had another question for you then, Fell. Vidabus waits. What is this place? A slow train of symbols materialize around Fell's head. The symbols take several moments to resolve, starting with simple lines, then fleshing themselves out into breathtaking colours. You're guessing at some of the symbols, but you think he's an artist, and this is a tattoo parlour. I had some other questions for you, Fell. Davos waits. What lies beyond that curtain, Fell? A caravan train of symbols slowly materializes around Fell, one by one. You think he's saying it is a gallery of some sort. A gallery of you. The next part is difficult to translate, but you think that Fell is saying he is sad for you. Sad? Why? Another caravan of symbols forms around Fell, this time forming a circle. He says something about you being marked and tormented. There's another section you cannot translate, then the last portion seems to be something about you enduring pain. It is entirely possible that if I increase my intelligence and come back here later on, I will be able to understand more of what Fell is trying to tell me. And I'll be able to ask him again. I see. I had some other questions. Can you tell me anything about these tattoos on my body? Fell studies your body for a moment, walking around you. He mirrors each symbol as he examines it, then returns to face you. From what you can make out of his floating symbols, he's saying the tattoos are not his. I'll keep that in mind. I had some other questions, just... Davos waits. Can I see what tattoos you have? So... Fell has some tattoos for sale. And, strangely, they can be placed on the body of the nameless one, and removed and replaced with other tattoos, almost like garments or pieces of equipment. I believe one or two of the other characters also has tattoo slots. Most of these are stat boosters of some kind. For instance, might is strength, insight is intelligence, revelation is wisdom, action, I believe, is dexterity. No! Yeah, dexterity, yeah. Health would be constitution, presence would be charisma. Enduring, extra hit points, warding, armor class. And there's a lesser and greater version of each one of these, right? Then at the top we have bloodletting, damage, accuracy to hit. The skull. Oh! What the hell is luck? Does that affect dice rolls? +1 charisma, -1 wisdom. I think our wisdom's kind of low enough as it is at the moment. Razor Angel Ink. Now, we got on well for Razor Angels. Ooh, invokes protection from evil. What, constantly, or... So protection from evil would be +2 armor class against evil creatures. Has a limited number of uses. Okay. We're not going to take any for now, because we got enough tattoos as it is. Can we look behind the curtain? Ooh, it seems we might be able to. This tattoo is of a night black steed with dead milky eyes, with dead white eyes and spines bristling from its shoulders. This picture shows a blackened sphere of trails of black mist floating away from it. This design shows a series of black rivers whose courses divide, cross each other, then flow together. Almost like veins, and oh, we're getting somewhere here now. Might get some memories. This design is a hollow beast with a tiny demon in its head. Human skin has been stretched across these wooden frames. The skins are covered with tattoos. Let's see if we can get anything different here. Anything more personal. Anything that would stir a memory, as it were. Tried. We tried. So I don't know if those are all related to our past, or just the a gallery of you could be a gallery of like all of the designs he's ever done. A burning skull has been inscribed on this wall. 2 symbols of duality flank it. This design seems to be of a shadow casting a shadow. The silhouette of the shadow makes it unclear which is a man or whether it is a man or a woman. A pattern of barbed black branches have been inscribed on this wall. Oh, that might relate to something actually. An unusual work of art? Oh well, we'll head back outside. But remember, we can come back here later when we have more money than sense and lots of body parts to inject ink into. These barrels are probably here to catch rainwater. The only thing that fills them is rust, despite the fact they appear to be made of wood. Oh, a door. Oh, what? What you first took to be a door in this archway is actually a painting. The artist has made use of the shadows in the overhanging arch and some subtle texturing effects to give the door the illusion of substance, like a really good stage set painter. Let's examine the door closely. Other than the skill of the artist, there is nothing remarkable about the painting. The door has been painted on a rough stone wall. You can feel the stone and mortar beneath the painted wooden texture. Let's leave the door alone. I'm wanting to get back to the dustman's bar, really, but I'm in no hurry just yet. A boarded up window, and oh, this chap here mourns for trees. Let's leave him to his mourning and not speak just now. His ash-covered tree looks like it has suffered greatly since being transplanted here. Hey, a gift sarai. This gift turns to face you as you approach. Like a dak'kon, he has a yellow cast to his skin and a gaunt frame. His clothing is a curious blend of sharp colours and dull, mud-stained browns. The gift's dead black eyes flicker over dak'kon, then you. Greetings. The man ignores you and turns to dak'kon instead. He speaks several clipped words in a low tongue which you can't understand. His expression doesn't change as he speaks, nor does he make any hand motions, so you can't even hazard a guess at what he's saying. dak'kon replies with an arrow flight of words in the same tongue, and the gift sarai falls silent. What's he saying, dak'kon? The gift sarai turns to you as you speak, then turns back to dak'kon and speaks again. This time at great length. dak'kon replies. It sounds like the same arrow flight of words as before. The gift sarai falls silent again. dak'kon says something else, and the gift sarai responds with another lengthy stream of words. dak'kon, can you ask him some questions for me? dak'kon turns to the gift sarai and speaks, this time at a slower, more measured pace than before. The gift sarai's reply is a short one.
What did he say? Your words are known to me, the Gift Sarai interrupts. Face me and speak your mind. I will hear you. Very well. I had some questions. Achali drowning. I'm sorry? Your question is a stab in the dark. An arrow without direction. His forehead wrinkles. The answer to this question would fill the mind of an Anak. There is no time for such an answer. Tell me plainly what you wish to know. Let me be more specific. Can you tell me where I might find work? There is little work here. You can hunt rats for bounties. You can gather the dead. Bounties on rats? The city pays for rats' tails. Take them to one of their vermin control offices. What was that other job you mentioned? Gathering the dead? Many die here every night in this city. Take the dead to the men of dust. They will buy the body. I had some other specific questions about the city. The gift pauses, then speaks again. Ask your questions. I will hear you. Can you tell me what there is of interest around here? You are not known to me. What is interesting to you may not interest me. Never mind. I'm sorry to trouble you. dak'kon?
What is your will?
dak'kon turns to you, his eyes like polished coal. His blade mirrors his eyes for a moment as he addresses you, then he nods. What is it you will? There are things I would know, dak'kon. I will hear you. I have some questions about the Gift Sarai. dak'kon waits. Can you tell me of the Gift Sarai people again? dak'kon is silent for a moment. Know this and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo. With a deft motion, dak'kon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. Wait to see what happens. There we hold the matter of limbo in our hearts. Okay, so we're repeating here, we're looping. Let's see if I can talk about something else. Can I talk to you about your teachings? dak'kon waits. So, I can get him to train me to be a fighter again. Teach me everything of the art, that's probably magic, but I'm not going to do that because there's a much nicer way of doing it that's really well written actually. Never mind dak'kon, let's move on. Now, while we are here, we are supposed to be delivering a box to Kuatra, in the southeastern section of the hive. So let's do just that. We'll keep on searching. In fact, we did see Kuatra in a previous episode. And let's say, hey, what's this? Let's say, hello. What's this strange creature? Much as this creature's body is a combination of man and ram, his head is a mix of sorts, with a broad, flat nose, goat ears, and a pair of curling horns. Intricate designs are shaved into his dirty pelt, and a massive four-flanged polearm hangs from his belt harness. He doesn't seem to notice you. Greetings. He turns to face you with startling speed, his eyes dark and suspicious of you. His voice is deep and rumbling. Not quite. Oh, and my throat is far too dry for this conversation. His voice is deep and rumbling, but not quite human and heavily accented. I'll try. What do you want, two legs? His hand is close to his polearm. Only to speak with you. I had some questions. He seems to calm down. His hand drops away from his weapon. He still keeps a certain distance from you, however. What do you wish to ask me? Tell me about the slums around us. He looks at you curiously. What is it you wish to know about them exactly? Do you know someone named Farod? I know few people here, Two Legs. This Farod is not one of them. A friend of yours? I don't know really. Let me ask you something else. What is it you wish to ask me? Why were you so wary of me? He seems sad for a moment. This place, a wretched, unclean place, is full of unfriendly, sometimes desperate people. Not the place for a visiting body or Two Legs. He shrugs. I have business here, so, and so here I am. Business? What are you here for? Another time, Two Legs. If we ever meet in a happier place, I shall tell you all about it. Until another time, then. Farewell. Now, let's go inside this building here. We have been in here before briefly. There was a man in here. His name might even have been...
I'm gone.
Kuatra. Indeed it was. You again. I thought I told you not to bother me. I can't remember his voice, sorry, it's been a while. I was told to deliver this box to you. Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Let's see what you got for me. I'm sure it'll need to be inventoried. Ma told me to give this to you. As you hold up the box out for him to take, Kuatra's expression turns from one of interest to one of intense horror. No! Please! Get it away from me! I don't understand. Why are you afraid of this box? I said get back! Deaf! Evil! Had to chip... Ma, I couldn't take it anymore. Please, take to Brasken. Lives southwest. Hive. Me... No! Apparently the sight of the box is just too much for him as he runs screaming from the building. Wait, what am I supposed to do with...
Updated my journal.
This box? Well, with that, let's take a look how we're doing for experience. The box is a nice fun quest, and I think we should try to complete it before going after Farod. I also wanted to go to the Gathering Dust bar, but I think those things will probably have to wait for another episode, because I've been recording for a reasonable amount of time here.
Done.
I hope many of you will come back and continue watching, but for now, hope you've all enjoyed this one, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'll say bye-bye for now, and cheerio!